Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 8. So we're getting closer and closer to the start slash commencement, whichever word you want to use, of The Flash Season 8, with us almost at the 3-week mark until the premiere. And of course, we should all know by now that we're kicking off The Flash Season 8 with a 5-part event entitled Armageddon, which the CW and Warner Brothers have tried to make clear isn't a crossover, but over the past week, we got our first look at this Armageddon event, thanks to the release of the first trailer for The Flash Season 8, which was a bit shorter than usual, usually be like another 30 seconds, if not like another minute. But of course, we should most likely get like another trailer, like a shorter promo most likely, with like a week or two until the premiere. So maybe in a week or two from now we'll get it, but I don't know. So we'll hopefully get more footage there if they drop another one. But with the release of the trailer and us getting to actually see what it will be like, it's pretty clear it's on a pretty similar level to the crossovers of the past. Even the production quality looks like the crossovers, which was always that margin higher than the regular episodes of the seasons of the shows that took part, whether it was The Flash, whether it was Legends, Supergirl, whatever it is, whatever it is. But along with the first look and just feel of the opening of the season, it did give us a tease and hint at the story that will be taking place, which feels very disconnected from where it seems the rest of the season, starting in episode 6, picks up from. Almost as if episode 6 continues on the story from the end of season 7, and this Armageddon story is its own standalone thing. But you never know, that could be intentional, and it sort of maybe even feels like that based off the trailer, and that could be due to what actually happens in the 5-part event that kicks off the season. So before the trailer even came out, and I've mentioned this in passing in like a couple of other videos when we have discussed these opening episodes or the Armageddon event specifically, but we've never really dialed too much into it because we didn't really know the context of the storyline or for this event. But according to the trades that have reported on this event, like the TV lines and all that, Armageddon will have ramifications that will affect not just the Flash as a show, as you would expect it to be, saying, well, the event is on the Flash, but the event will have ramifications for the entire Arrowverse, and you'll see it ripple out throughout the shows afterwards. Now, of course, we don't know how big or how small these ripples could be or will be. That is for us to wait and find out. However, for it to impact all of the shows, I can really only think of one thing that will do that in a quick way where you wouldn't have to explain it too much on the other shows, and that would be a timeline change. Now, though there isn't any clear time travel sequences in the trailer for Armageddon, and by clear, I mean we don't see like a calendar that says the years 2032 or 2008. But there have been scenes shot that didn't feature in the trailer, but there have been shot that do suggest time travel. And of course, we do have Mia Queen showing up, who is based in the 2040s. So if she's going to appear in the present day, she's going to have to time travel. So time travel is featuring in multiple ways. Once again, we just don't know how much due to this limited footage and knowledge for exactly what is going on with the storyline. But when you deal with time travel, especially when you're using it to stop a threat, you never know what can go wrong, even if it isn't the Flash or another speedsters or just another person who is time traveling's fault. Now, just because it has been said all the shows will feel the impact of what happens in Armageddon, that doesn't mean that Batwoman's suit is now purple and green or something, or Superman now has dreadlocks and wears sandals around or anything like that. It is important to remember we have had a major timeline changing event already happen in the Arrowverse that didn't do too much in regards to changing a ridiculous amount, just certain things that they wanted to change or just, would be interesting. And of course, that was Flashpoint. Now, of course, to be fair, there weren't as many shows at that time. The actual timeline of the Arrowverse wasn't that extensive, and certain things just weren't as established within this universe. But I think Flashpoint is a good reference point in regards to maybe how big the changes are. If there is a timeline change or changes going on afterwards or during this event, I think, using Flashpoint as a reference point is probably the best way to go about it. Now, in regards to what changes could happen if we're getting some timeline altering, if you want to call it, I really don't have much to add or have too many massive guesses outside of maybe them fixing some, continuity things that the shows would like fixed, whether it's Flash with something that happened in season 4, they'd be like, oh, we might change that. They could even change, if they wanted to, and we'll bring up this person later, something to do with Ralph Dibny if they wanted to, or, Batwoman could change something in their timeline. or Legends, or even Superman. Superman and Lois wouldn't need to, unless it's something from Superman's past. It's already been in the Arrowverse that they want to alter for their show, if that makes sense, which they've done anyway. They didn't really need an event to do that. But yeah, if you do have any suggestions or thoughts or predictions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below in regards to what you would want or what you think could be changed. But with The Flash, one of the big ones many would want is revolving around a certain ancestor of either Bart Thorne or Reverse Flash, that of course being Eddie Thorne. And I guess that's the perfect segue to the next topic for this video. So as we should all know, it was announced about a week or so ago. Actually, maybe it was like 2 weeks ago. God, time flies. Anyway, it was announced that Rick Cosnet, might I say, would be returning to the Flash season, the Flash this season in the role of Eddie Thorne, or Detective Eddie Thorne, if we're going to be specific. However, this was attached with a info drop from TV Line, I can't speak today, that it would be a singular flashback episode, which, squashed the hopes and dreams of some viewers. However, I did point out in my video initially covering all of that they did use that excuse to cover for the return of two characters who stuck around much longer than one episode in the past. Those two characters being Laurel Lance, or who ended up being the Earth 2 Laurel Lance, played by Katie Cassidy on Arrow, and also Mon-El from Supergirl. So over the past couple of days, some set photos came out which showcased a scene from episode 6, it seems, that was being filmed. And I say it seems it was episode 6, as it contained Rick Cosnet, as Eddie Thorne, and he was only meant to be in one episode, and it seems that he started filming for episode 6 stuff earlier on when he, came back to film. Obviously, if this is episode 7, it confirms that he's back for more than one episode, but I think it's safe to assume this is episode 6. But in this scene that was being filmed, it revolved around Eddie and Joe, so Joe West, at a jewelry store around Christmas time, stopping that robber or that criminal who Ralph was initially constantly coming up against. Remember Ralph pretended to be a giant pear or something in front of him, or disguised himself as a giant pear. And I also think he was the first person that Ralph took down as elongated man when he was wearing that weird grey onesie thing. Anyway, that's all in the past. Won't be Ralph dealing with this guy now, but we're going to be, I guess, seeing what this guy was doing in the past. But it wasn't just Joe and Eddie there. Also at the jewelry store were Bart and Nora. Not Barry and Bart and Nora, just Bart and Nora, Impulse and Excess, with Bart specifically dressed in an odd get-up, with many people saying he is dressed up like how Earth 2 Barry Allen was when we met him, if you remember that. I might even put a side-by-side if you want to have a look. Which I sort of agree with. I think when you're looking at it, go, hey, yeah, that's sort of a similar get-up. But he's still sporting his Impulse haircut and all of that. Now, of course, we don't know what exactly is going on here, but you would have to think that this is a time travel scene, though TV Line did say it was a flashback episode, and time travel and flashback, things are different. Well, they're different things. Time travel and flashbacks are different things. So yeah, it's a time travel scene most likely, but it does make you wonder what the episode entails and why Eddie is needed for the episode. Is he just there because they did a flashback episode? It's hey, well, he would have been alive at that point, so let's bring him back and sort of excite fans, even though it's not necessarily what fans want to see with Eddie if he came back. So maybe that's exactly why they're doing it, but there might be a deeper reason. But in regards to Eddie being back, we also know that Candice Patton posted photos on her Instagram with her in her infamous, I think I'd call it infamous because everyone knows it, Iris outfit from the pilot. When she was a barista at Jitters. It's when Barry walks in after waking up and everything like that. Now, that scene with Iris in the pilot didn't take place at Christmas time. Unlike this Eddie, Joe, Bart, and Nora scene. I think Barry wakes up in, I think it's June or July, around the middle of the year or something like that. It's something like that when he wakes up. So yeah, at least the Iris scene isn't taking place at Christmas time, as she did, reuse the pilot or do something around that day. However, one thing that did take place around Christmas time, or at least around the time where Christmas decorations would be up and everything, was the particle accelerator incident. That happens in the middle of December. And of course, Eddie was around at that time as a detective in the CCPD. So is that what we could be seeing, take place in this episode? They're time traveling to events around this period. But then again, Eddie was still alive the following Christmas. So it's not a certainty that this Christmas scene is around the particle accelerator time. It could be the following year, which would be once Barry has become the Flash and everything like that. Which could be an interesting scene now that you think about it. If Bart and Nora come back here and they see when their dad was, first the Flash, or roughly around that time. That'd be fairly interesting. But in the scene with Joe and Eddie when they're taking down that dude, it seems that Bart and Nora are just watching, but they're almost in shock almost. They give a oh my god sort of face So maybe Barry comes in as the Flash? I don't know. Maybe that's why they're surprised. But we don't specifically know why they're in shock watching based off the set stuff. So that'll be interesting to find out. But if I had to make a prediction, I might say if it is like after Barry becomes the Flash and it's that Christmas where Eddie's still alive once Barry is the Flash, it's actually the Flash coming in, but like, very early on Flash, which Bart and Nora would never experienced, obviously. But yeah, it's not really too long until we find out whether this thing about Eddie only being back from one episode is true or not. So I guess if we learn more, I'll be making a video in probably about a week's time as to whether that's actually the case or not. He is only back from one episode, but that's to wait and find out. I guess the countdown's on. But even if he's not back as Cobalt Blue, or at least not for now, I am still intrigued to see how he works into the episode and what this episode is as a whole. I love time travel as long as it's makes sense. So I'm looking forward to it regardless. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this, all of it. The Armageddon stuff, the timeline stuff, and also these scenes being filmed for what should be episode 6 for this season or this upcoming season. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.